Dana Barros, man, how you feeling, bro?
I'm always feeling good, man. I'm always feeling good, especially when we kicking it, man. We always doing it right. So I always feel good when I'm here, man. Let's go.
Glad to hear it, bro. How you feeling about that All-Star game? Being a former NBA All-Star, watching that. You know what I'm excited about, which I've been saying for years. They need to bring that one-on-one in, and I think they're going to do it next year. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. The only thing I didn't like about the All-Star game, I thought the format USA versus the world was good, but that third game, man, when them old heads tried to come out there and play after that second break, they let man. I said they looked like they had some big ass Timbs on, man. They was running, they was slow, they look old, man. I think that the third game to me is too much for them. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much, especially from an organizational standpoint. From a coach or a GM, I'm like, yeah, that's just too much waiting around, stop, go, stop, go. But I like the format. I thought that it was a lot more competitive that way.
So you thought it was more physical or more mental? Do you think that they just didn't have it, even if they really wanted it, they couldn't have won that one? Or just the young guys wanted it more? How'd you feel about that?
I just thought that it was tough for them to get loose. Like you looking at Durant, he's 37. Like LeBron's 30. Like Kawhi had 31 in the quarter, but he had to sit down for like 20, 30 minutes and then get back up and get loose again for the third time. Like it was just too much. Maybe the second game was cool, but that third game, them old heads was like, this shit is crazy. I'm gonna tear some shit out here if I keep going.
Bro, I think you're right because when I go to the gym, like that first game, I feel crazy, bro. But then, like second, third, fourth game, I start feeling like myself again. Like that first game, like this dude shouldn't even be messing with me, but it's like it takes a little bit longer to get warm these days, you know?
Definitely, best, especially when you get up there, man. I'm in my 50s, so that shit. If I gotta take one break, I'm done. Like I ain't coming back after the first break. I'm going straight out. I'm going 40 minutes straight. That's it. If I gotta stop for 20, 30 minutes, I ain't playing no more.
When you were in the All Star game, was your mentality, I'm going to cook everyone, or this is more of a celebration? I'm just happy to be here and I'm going to relax and kind of go with the flow?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. At first, when I was in the locker room, I was just kind of awestruck, man. Just being in the locker room around everyone. Just this is my dream. Like I got my jersey like on Thursday. I wore that shit every day. I slept in that shit. You know what I mean? Like I wore that shit from Thursday all the way to Sunday, right? So I was in awe. But once the game started, like I wanted to make sure I scored. I wanted to make sure that people knew I was supposed to be there. So when I got in the game, I didn't play as much. Brian Hill was the coach, and that was Penny Hardaway's first game. So he played Penny Hardaway like 35 minutes. I only got like 12 minutes, 11 minutes, but I scored 5 points. I was in the game putting that shit up when I got it. I said, I'm gonna make sure everybody know I'm supposed to be here.
I know there was a financial aspect to it, but were you surprised when Harden got traded?
Nah, I mean they wouldn't extend him. You know what I mean? He knows how to get traded. He'll shut the shit down quick.
You think?
He'll be like, yeah, my hammies hurt. I'm done. I'm done for the year. You know what I mean? So he'll shut it down quick. And the Clippers knew that, so they just said that they decided not to play the game with him, and they just got rid of him in the best way they could. So I don't know how it's gonna work in Cleveland. We'll see. I don't know. He's really ball dominant, man. I just don't know how that's
Do you
gonna
think
work.
do you think it could fit with him and Donovan?
I think Donovan is. I think he has the right mentality to make it fit. But when the playoffs come, like Donovan is going. I think he's gonna try to take it to another level. He's gonna want the ball more. And is gonna make Mobley and Jared Allen better. You know what I mean? But that's going to take more away from Donovan to me. But with the pick and rolls with those guys, so we'll see how it works. But it's an experiment right now, and I'm still kind of open to how that's going to feel at the end.
Watching Kawhi play the way he's playing, do you feel like James Harden had a better chance to win it all with the Clippers or now with the Cavs?
I think with the Cavs, I think the Cavs have more around them. And I think Kawhi is going to be out of there after this year or the next year. I just think they're going to have to give him another extension, give him some more money, or he's going to be like, yo, who's around me? Well, Zubac is gone. I know they brought in some pieces, but they're not going to win. The West is crazy. I don't even know if they'll be in the play. Are they in the playing game right now?
Nah,
Right.
they started out terrible, bro.
Right.
They started
So
out
I
so
mean, I
bad.
just think him not making the playoffs and him playing the way he's playing, I would want to get traded if I'm him. Shit, I'm about to be 30, 31 at least. I want to win. I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah, we talked about it before with Jason Tatum, and they added Vucevic. Jason Tatum's now working out in the G League, even though they really bring the G League to him, which is kind of interesting. You don't have to go to the G League. G League comes to Jason. But do you think he's going to return?
It seems like he's ramping up to, right? It seems like he's ramping up to, but it's more mental than physical, man. Like
100%.
it's so tough. I had surgery, and I thought I was ready to play. I go out there and I played that first cut. I was like, is fucking people going and fast forward? Like the game is so fast, man. Like it's like you don't understand how the timing and rhythm and the speed of the game is until you get out there. So
Well, also just the thought of maybe getting injured again is always back there until you get totally back into rhythm. And that's almost like another guy guarding you. Like you don't even have to
definitely.
worry about everything else on the court. You're worrying about that injury a little bit in the back of your
And
mind.
that's a great point because I'm gonna tell you this. I watched myself on film. I didn't realize that every time I went up, I was not landing on the leg that I had surgery on. I was
That's
landing
crazy.
on one leg instead of coming down on two. I didn't even realize I was doing it. My body was almost subconsciously not allowing me to do it. So until you're mentally 100% ready to play, your body is not going to allow you to go 100% because you're going to have that in the back of your mind at all times.
Yeah. Do you feel like they have a legit chance to win it all this season if Tatum could come back?
I think if he comes back, I think if he waits until April and gets the extra month in, I think they'll have a much better chance. If he tries to come back in March and he's still limping a little bit and he's still I think there's a chance of re-injury, and that's what's in the back of his mind.
I agree with you. I think he needs like 2 months of good pickup.
Right.
Like playing hard against the G League guys, whoever he wants to play against, the guy's not getting burned, the G League guys, the coaching staff, but he needs to go hard. Like you can't just throw him in a game, it's just
No,
different.
and I think it'll be more of a detriment to him mentally. Like if he's not like you say, he's gonna have to play at least 15 games before he even feels somewhat comfortable. You know what I mean? Real games, not G League.
Hmm.
He's gonna have to play, and that to me that needs to be in April if I'm him. I don't know the progress of it. They say he's playing, he looks, but I still see a little bit of a limp when I see him go. On the film, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
About that. I'm a little
I
nervous
want
about
to
that.
see him come back and fit into that. I know it's a far fetch because he's coming off that injury, but we've talked about this before. I want to see him play that Robin role, and I want to see Jalen win the championship as like the guy on the team. Like that would be a great story. I would love that because they both could show now that like they could win the championship as the best player. That'd be like a cool story to me. And then obviously him coming back and winning another one.
That's how it's gonna have to be. Like the way Jalen is playing, he's gonna have to come back. Tatum's gonna have to come back and fit in. He's gonna have to come back
100%.
and fit
Like
in more.
focus on defense, and then he's so talented offensively. Like he's gonna get his points, but just like focusing on filling the gaps around Tatum.
Yeah, he's gonna play off the ball more. Like usually you see him catch the ball and pull it out and go through his shit at the top. To me, he's gonna be off the ball. Jalen or someone else is gonna hit him. Now he's got that guy running at him, and now he's gonna play off the ball to me more that way instead of trying to just take 15 dribbles and beat the guy one on one. That's gonna put too much pressure on his body.
Yeah, focus on playing defense, catch and shoot threes, and the rest will, it'll happen because he's just so talented, so big, so
Right.
athletic, scores so well. Who you got? OKC or the field this year?
I got the field, man. It's tough. It's
Ooh.
tough to go back to back. Plus, SGA is going to be out another 2 weeks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Jalen Williams is out again. He's hurt again. He hasn't played much this year. So unless they're 100% healthy and playing on all cylinders, San Antonio is a matchup nightmare. They beat them 3 out of 4, and it's about matchups when you get to the playoffs, right? I don't
Right.
want to. For them, they might end up playing Minnesota, San Antonio, and Denver all before they go to the finals. You know what I mean? And that's going to be tough. Those three guys, those three teams have been there. Minnesota's been in the Western Finals, what, 2 of the last 3 years? So they're ready to go to the next step. So I don't think I'm not saying they can't do it. I just would take the field in the West over them because it's really tight, a lot more tighter now than it was last year.
I want to see Spurs and Knicks in the finals too. If the Boston doesn't get there, that'd be a cool final. Just see like a big market like New York, and then the Spurs. Man, like that would be box office to me.
New York needs to make it to the finals, man. I think,
And,
I
some
good.
good pickups, right? I know you like
Yeah,
Jose and Sohan's tough too. Like they needed that toughness.
And they should have made it last year. To me, they should have beat Indiana. They had a better team in Indiana. They should have made it. And I think the fans are expecting them to turn it around and play a lot better this second half and make it to the finals. So I think they got a lot of pressure on them with Tatum being out and Indiana being different. Detroit, tonight they played Detroit, and Detroit's been busting their ass the last couple of times they played. So tonight's going to be a big thing for the fans and for the Knicks to see where they stand with that matchup, you know?
How do you feel about, like, what is the biggest X factor you feel for the Knicks to win it all this season?
Cat, you know what I mean? I just think Cat's he's got to be consistent, stay out of foul trouble. Robinson is back healthy. He's a big key to them, man. Like he's other than the free throws, I watched him play in person twice at the Knicks game in Boston, man. He's a problem. He's a real game changer on the inside for them. But Cat's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's got to score 20. He's got to get 10 to 15 rebounds to help Jalen be more consistent, man. I just think he's the real key for them. Jalen's going to be there and do what he does.
Yo, you're right about Mitch. It's kind of like Steven Adams, how he just blows everything up on the rebounds. Like, it's an
Offense, he leads the league
he
in
don't
offensive
score outside
rebounds.
of 5 feet, but he's like a game changer. You're right.
He's a problem, man. Like offense, I think he leads the league in offensive rebounds per minute. He's a problem. And then on defense, he rebounds and he blocks shots. So he allows Cat to be out, and they play two bigs. They can play two bigs with him. They can both play at the same time. Allow Cat to stay out. He's a good 3-point shooter, and if he's knocking that down, he can drive off the dribble. You know, he's just got to play. He's got to be consistent, and he's got to stay out of foul trouble. He gets a lot of stupid fouls, man, and it's just to me takes himself out of the game. Cat does.
Well, how you feeling about the Lakers, man? They're not as bad as like media's making it seem they are. Like, they're pretty good. There's just a lot of injuries at the end of the day.
They're a sleeper, man. Like they're like fifth in the West with only playing 10 games with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. And to me, everybody's sleeping on Austin Reeves. He's a problem, bro. He's averaging 25 more than LeBron.
What people don't talk about is how crazy his handle is.
Crazy.
Basketball on a string.
He's a problem. So to me, if he's healthy and all three of them are healthy, I don't want to see them in the first round. I don't care who you are. Like, you know, if they're all healthy and they're ready to go, they're legitimate. They're legitimate. You know, what do you call it? Sleeper to me. They're a legitimate sleeper in the West.
Yeah, it's weird they're a sleeper because they're just so talented. Like, when you got three guys like that, you usually don't sleep on them. But it's like, it's all the narratives around them. Like, people like, you know, messing with LeBron, really. He's just been here too long, bro. It's like, he's still good, but people are just over him, bro. People are over him.
And all three of them don't play defense. All three of them aren't good defensive players. That's what everybody talks about. Defensively, that's where they have the problem, because Minnesota just kept, whoever Luka was guarding, they just kept putting them in the pick and roll and switching Luka onto the ball. You know what I mean? And now you got Austin, who's not a great defender. LeBron's 41. You know, so he's not going to be out there picking up, you know, full court doing that shit. To me, just defensively is where they're going to be hurt, you know, and that from that standpoint with those three guys.
So back to All-Star a little bit. On a podcast recently, Ron Harper says Scottie Pippen is the best small forward to ever play the game of basketball. Thoughts?
Hell no. Small forward, he's not like, okay, what do we call it? Who Dominique, Larry Bird. I mean, small forward. He's a small, like T-Mac played 1, 2, 3.
LeBron James, the guy we
LeBron James. Like no way. Like, he didn't even average 20 points a game. You can say he's the best all around defensive player, scorer, rebounder, passer. Okay, you want to talk about that to say the best ever? Ron played with him. That's his guy. You know what I mean? Ron played with him. That's his guy. So I understand that. I love Ron. That's my guy too. But to say that, nah. Scottie might say that about himself, you know. But I don't think there's just too many great players. I'm sure I'm missing like 5 or 6 other players that just were unbelievable at that position. I mean, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Well, Scottie is probably closer to KD than people give him credit for, though. But I don't think he's better than KD.
Right. I mean, and you're talking about players who can play multiple positions just like Scottie. So was Grant Hill? Grant Hill's a small. Was he 1, 2, 3? Like, you know, like T-Mac, is he a 1, 2, 3?
T-Mac, T-Mac himself. Ron Harper said it's a T-Mac. T-Mac, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I just don't think that. I don't think his scoring is enough to say he's the greatest ever. Like, he wasn't an unstoppable scorer.
Paul Pierce or Scottie Pippen?
Ooh, I'm taking Paul Pierce, man. I'm taking P-double. Because I just think Paul was a dog on defense too. He wasn't as great a defensive player as Scottie, but he was a dog. He challenged Kobe in those finals. He wanted he said, I got Kobe. He didn't stop him, but they went head to head. You know what I'm saying? So to me, he's not as great as defensive player, not as good a passer, but his scoring was so much better. I would take the scoring over the defense and the other shit.
Do you think
In a
Paul?
7-game series, definitely, I'm doing that.
Do you think Paul Pierce was the best players on that team, or on the Celtics championship team, or you think it was Kevin Garnett?
I was Paul Pierce. KG was at a point in his career where he capitulated to Paul. He understood what Paul could do. And he allowed Paul to be Paul. And he almost pushed Paul. Like, I'll tell you, Paul was like kind of like come to practice, like play one on one.
He a West Coast guy, right? They got that like laid
Yeah.
back kind of mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, but KG was like, nah, you coming here an hour and a half early with me. You getting your shots up, you putting your work in. He changed Paul's mentality of how he played the game, and he pushed Paul to be great. He told Paul he was great, and he made Paul play great.
I'd love to see what Paul's doing now because it's like so true to himself. Like, obviously the stuff went awry with like Disney, ESPN, and all that. But now, like talking about the relationship stuff, I feel like he might become more famous in that one day than even basketball. Like that stuff is good, bro. Like when he gets in that bag, I like what I'm
Definitely,
seeing.
I love it on his show. He keeps it 100. He speaks. He's so confident in himself. He
Yeah.
has no problem telling you he'll give it to anybody. But he'll also be real about everything else that you talk about. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love his genuine. He's just who he is. He's not out there trying to be somebody on the film or on the video. He's just being himself, and I love that about him. And he's gonna be a star with, in terms of that. He's gonna have his own show. He's gonna get a big deal with somebody, man. I think
100%. 100%. So you were a two-sport athlete, Dana Barros. What sport do you think it's the hardest to go pro in?
football, man. I
Yeah.
think football because it's just it's such a physical game, and everybody like when you get to the football, like me playing football, I went to visits like I was top 50 football player in the country. I went to visit to Michigan. And my visits to BC were with Doug Flutie football team. Like I took 2 visits to BC and just to see the linebackers was damn near just as fast as me. The linebackers was running 4.5s. I ran a 4.3 in college, right? But the linebackers are running 4.4s. The defensive ends are fast as the running backs. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to be not only a super athlete, but you got to be able to take that beating every day, man. So, I think football is tougher. Basketball is, if you're just a great shooter, you can sit on somebody's bench for 10 years. You know what I mean? But if you're just fast, you're not gonna make it in the NFL for 10 years. You gotta catch the ball, you gotta run the ball, you gotta have to get hit. So
Yeah.
to me, it's harder. We can be a great in one skill in basketball and make it. Not in
Yeah.
football.
Is it fair to say that basketball players are more skillful, but football players are more athletic?
Definitely, but I think basketball players are probably just as athletic, um, in terms of fluidity. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
just like a ballerina type athletic. But
Yeah,
football players are.
I feel like that's why I feel like testing and combine means so much more in football because like in basketball there's so much nuance to the game.
Right.
Like you could do good in all that testing stuff, but you could be trash. Like if you have some kind of toughness in football and you test real well, you'll probably be pretty good in football, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's a different type of skill. Like basketball, like is like a ballerina athleticism, and football is like a brute strength athleticism. And football, the play lasts for 7 seconds, right? So you're gonna be out there for 7 seconds. You're gonna use your brute strength and your speed and your athleticism. Basketball, it could be a 7 minute up and down the court where no one's stopping, right? It could be so you. It's a different type of athleticism. But I think football players are a combo of speed and strength that's unmatched in any other sport.
Which sport do you think is more fun to watch?
I like watching football more now, man. I love
Really?
I love watching football. I just
Yeah.
love it. Basketball is hard. Even being a 3-point shooter is hard to watch. Like you watching 30% shooters shooting. It's 3-on-1. A 30% shooter goes to the corner for a three. Like, come on, man. Like I'd rather take off and dunk the ball and use your athleticism. It's hard to watch, man. Everyone's a copycat in the NBA. Everybody's trying to win with the 3 and D guys. I don't like watching it. It's tough for me to watch, just personally.
Do you feel like that back when you were playing, there was more unique players, like players that just played like back in the day, like when you were playing, you would just see random dudes with like the funky form. It would just be like, it would be different.
Yeah, like I just think I played so much basketball. I'm just tired of watching it. That could be it. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
basketball gym with 50 AAU teams. You know, I do consulting for the Celtics, so I go to 40, 50 games a year. I might be just basketballed out. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why I don't watch it as much. You know, but so I wouldn't probably be a good judge of that as a normal fan would. I just love football. I don't know why. I just love watching football. I could almost watch any football game. I'm not watching any basketball game. I need to see two players play or two good teams play.
yeah. All right, I want to ask you this before we get out of here: Hakeem Olajuwon or Shaquille O'Neal?
Damn. You're talking like, do I want the ballerina who's Akeem, or do I want Miles Garrett and Shaq? You know what I'm saying? It's how you want it. But I think they both were dominant. But to me, I played against both of them. I just think Shaq was more dominant just because of his size and speed. So I probably would take Shaq, but Akeem was more skilled. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't lose either way. But if you ask me in a series, I'm taking the prime Shaq over Akeem. You know, and it's not by a lot, but Shaq was to me playing. I played 14 years. He was the most dominant player other than Jordan I ever played against. It was just like if he got the ball, it was fucking over. It was nothing. And the hacker Shaq, like you would break your hand trying to foul him. You know what I'm saying?
You ever got caught down there?
No, but I just missed the elbow like when he came through like this, and
Oh.
it just missed my face, and it was like I was like, I'm never double teaming that shit again. Like don't send me down on a double team. Send somebody else down on a double team because that would have been the end of my career right there.
Data, it's always great talking basketball with you. Thanks for taking the time. What you got coming up, man? Just working on the gym, working in the
In the
gym.
gym, I just started. I'm just getting ready to post my second Barrels report. I started the Barrels report yesterday on Dana Barros TV. Or check that out on YouTube.
Definitely.
Um, Yesterday I talked about the All-Star game. Today I'm gonna post the load management. I got some good stories about the traveling and how the traveling was different. So check out Dana Barros TV, the Barrels report. That started yesterday.
I love that, man, because so many people hit me up. They're like, "Yo, I love the Dana Barros stories." So you got to,
I
you got to
got
keep,
crazy
yeah, you
stories,
got to keep
man.
giving them those stories, man. People love it,
Yeah.
bro. People love it.
Wait till you hear the airport stories. You check out Dana, but wait till you hear the airport stories and the one I post today. You're gonna hear some funny shit today.
Looking forward to it, bro. Thanks for taking the time. Until next time, my guy.
All day.